Well, welcome back to Long Box Diving, where we explore comics and story arcs pulled from the long box. And we are here for another edition of Quarantine Comics.
Let's do it.
All right. So, everybody, we're in for yet another week of no new comics. So, we had a no new comic book day. We had a new to you comic book day yet again, because yet again we had no new comic books. So, we had to settle for buying back issues, which for us, we bought a lot of back issues. In fact, we had a back issue video, and then I went again. And
you did.
I did. I went twice this week.
You did.
And I did. I got a bunch of New Mutants.
Hey, Captain.
I got a bunch of old Fantastic Four. Hey, Captain Comics, how you doing, man? So all that's going to be for later, maybe Sunday. We'll do use those books for our covers
That's good.
against humanity, or whatever we call it. I don't remember what we call it now. So instead, we are doing the old fogey and the young whippersnapper. We review comics and we tell you what we think about them, what we liked, what we didn't like.
That we do.
And a bunch of other stuff. Oh, look, I got some new stuff. Look, I picked this up for support my local comic book shop. I got my first statues. I got my Daredevil and I got a Wolverine.
The Batman doesn't count because it's an ornament. It's a Christmas tree.
The Batman one is actually a Christmas tree ornament we got from Hallmark store. I don't know. So support your local comic book shop, especially through this hard time. We did get some good news coming. DC is actually going to be shipping through 2 new vendors, so I hope that works out real well. So in the meantime, the old fogey and the young whippersnapper are actually going to be reviewing old comics that were new to us and probably maybe new to you. I don't know.
If they're not, that's going to be really weird if you've read all of these.
If you've read all of these, because this is quite a selection. Last week I did a lot of Uncanny X-Men. So this week has some X-Men, mostly X-Men, but not Uncanny. So we're changing it up.
Ooh.
I read Warren Ellis and Carrie Andrews' Astonishing X-Men Exogenesis.
It's not uncanny.
It is not uncanny.
Astonishing.
I think this was actually a one-shot. This is number 1. I don't think it's a one-shot. I think it's a mini-series. But this was fantastic. The art was really good in it.
Oh, it's looking nice.
It had some creepy stuff.
Yeah, stepping in maggots.
Ooh. We had some weird babies. Now, there's a place in Africa that babies seem to be born, like 50% of the babies seem to be born with some type of mutant power, but that's not how the mutant gene works. Yeah. He's too young to see some of those statues there, Captain. That's why I got just these 2 instead of Lady Death or anything like that. So half of the babies seem to be born with some type of mutant power, but mutant powers don't normally come about until you're 13 or 14 years old. You kind of go through puberty, and one baby blew out a whole hospital, exploded, killed everybody. So somehow the X-Men are involved.
That seems fun.
And so the X-Men are going to go down there to, okay, we're going to get blamed for this anyway. So let's go ahead and get down there and take care of it. Now, there's funny part. Sorry, okay. I like Warren Ellis's take on the White Queen. Now, as you can see, the White Queen is in her normal uniform, standing behind Scott there. Her normal attire. And then he and Storm, of course, Storm's walking around in a towel wrapped around her. That's just normal procedure. She goes, so if you don't mind a little more consultation than usual. And she goes, yeah, you'll consult me. I may faint. He goes, you've been spending too much time with Emma. She goes, doesn't that accent of hers bother you, Scott? He goes, no. She goes, that smile may have been too much information. She has a fake British accent. It's great. And then they all decide to get dressed for the trip. They seem to have a standard uniform. Unless you're the White Queen. She goes, darling, if you were sleeping with the leader of the pack, I'm sure you too could wear what you like, presumably fresh animal skins of some kind. And then she's in the plane and she's leaning over the chair.
You thought the books I chose were weird.
Look at the little girl. She's like gagging. Man, they the way he painted Emma Frost in this was fantastic. Hey, Gray Man, how you doing? So they all kind of land. They fly over the Serengeti. So Storm can kind of see it again. Of course, she loves the Serengeti. She kind of was there for a while as the goddess. And then, of course, look at Emma's face. I love how they drew that, man. I mean, that is, it's like, I know why the little Asian girl in the back was gagging. And then they step out of the plane and they're met with armed soldiers. So far, it's a pretty fun comic. I love how Warren Ellis is portraying Emma Frost in it. The art is pretty good. It's a little stylized.
Yeah, but that's kind of the point of it.
Off cleavage. Yeah, yes, you can. Hold on. We have this one, which doesn't even look like cleavage. It's just like two water balloons stuck on the back of the chair. And then you have this one. I mean, that face is like, oh, I don't know what's wrong with her.
Yeah.
I mean, you look at Storm. Storm looks great. Emma looks like the Wicked stepsister. You got Storm. Storm looks great. I think somebody, when they were drawing this, actually had a very, very had a preference here on fate. Who looks good and who doesn't.
Maybe.
I know the face is like, what the crap
goodness.
just happened to her? But yeah, even honestly, when Wolverine's face looks better than Emma's, Pug licking the piss off a metal. Yeah, when Wolverine's face looks better than Emma's, we have a problem. But overall, it was a great read. It was a cool comic. It was a cool concept, and the art was really pretty good. Again, the art was Carrie Andrews. I don't Kaare Andrews. I haven't really heard of that artist before, but it's pretty good. So overall, this was a recommend. I'm gonna have to go look for the rest of the Exogenesis storyline and see if I can find out where the other ones. I don't know how many were in this run, but yeah, this was actually really pretty good. All right, Young Whippersnapper, what do you got, man?
Well, I've got Avengers World by the third one from Hickman, and I kind of like it. We got we got Shang-Chi.
Gray man. It's like my dad used to say, as long as you have a paper bag, you're good. My dad was crazy. All right.
I believe Shang-Chi is
cool.
in that village on top of this giant dragon.
Is that a village on top of a flying dragon?
Yes.
Is that what? Jeez.
Yes.
Look at all the hand. Is that the hand?
Yeah. Shang-Chi's looking over the that island.
Is that the hand ninjas?
That is, but they're really easy to take out for some reason. I guess it's just
he beat them all and then he claps.
Yeah, no, he rubs his hand. He flashes his hand so fast.
Wait a minute,
everything just goes out.
I didn't know Shang-Chi could do that.
I didn't either.
I didn't think he had superpowers.
Dude, thunderclapped.
And then Gorgon comes. Is that Gorgon?
Yeah, he's trying to defeat this. He knows he can't. He's trying to defeat Gorgon, who's the island. He is the essence of the island, which is kind of cool. But they're going hand-to-hand combat. Punches are thrown. Gorgon grabs Shang-Chi's wrist and throws him on top of the roof.
Yeah, the fight scenes look really good in this.
This book is almost entirely fight scenes, which is beautiful.
Look at Shang-Chi is throwing a fireball.
Dude is throwing a fireball into Gorgon's eyes.
Yeah. Well, Daredevil does, and taking out the hand ninjas is not a big thing. It's the fact that he slams his hands together and blows out all.
Dude's just really excited to get into the fight.
It's like a Superman clap. I didn't know he could do that.
Anyway, Shang-Chi knows he's losing. He knows he's losing because he's fighting an island. And he's like, I have to call upon the strength of my forefathers, the ninjas that came before me. And this is kind of cool.
All right, so he's like, this guy, I draw power. So Tang Min Zi.
He was protecting this one monk was protecting the king from when he was an infant, and that's
Yeah. So from him, I draw power.
yeah,
Then Yong Jing had no house, no order to
a
speak
villager
of,
girl. Yeah,
nor did she care. When her neighbors had abandoned their homes, she remembered her mother's training and raced into battle. From her, I draw boldness. And Cao Donghi chased the thief throughout the night. His province fortunes depending on the capture, but the thief was well trained and his poisoned dagger stuck deep. Still, the policeman fought, and from him, I draw resilience. And it looks like he throws a Kamehameha from Dragon Ball Z.
no, he's got Iron Fist cheat powers.
Well, I mean, look at that. He actually threw like it looks like he's like, "Wah!" And he looks like I loved how they make him look like Bruce Lee.
Oh, and it's
and
it's a beautiful scene. And
Look at that. That is wonderful.
he's hitting Gorgon, and he's got him down to one knee. But then Gorgon gets back up, and he's like, at the end of each story, everyone dies.
Yeah.
So I might as well join them.
So apparently, yeah, Gray Man, it looks like he can pull Iron Fist powers out. I am the wind which carries us away. Oh man, that looks really
Which was
good.
the first sentence of the book.
My spirit rests with theirs, with them, and the wars ended. All right, so this was Hickman and Spencer did the art. Spencer Caselli.
Yeah, I would read the entire series.
Yeah, we're gonna have to
off
find the rest
this
of it.
book because not only is it very Neo style,
Yeah.
especially that first book of that first boss where you know you can't win.
You're destined to die. Yeah, that was really good. So, what was your recommendation?
Yeah, that is a definite recommend. It was beautiful. The art's amazing. The dynamic poses of the action are beautiful. Yeah, I would read the entire series.
Cool. All right. So, the first one recommend Exogenesis, Astonishing X-Men by Warren Ellis and Carrie Andrews, and recommended by A World by Hickman and Spencer. So far, so good.
Keeping on the Asian influence.
And then, yes. So now I picked. This is the first one of these I have ever bought.
That's great.
And you can see the back. All
That's
right.
great.
So first one I've ever bought. I've heard a lot about it. A lot of people I've seen posts on Twitter, on Instagram. A lot of people talk about that. Oh, I'm so glad this next thing came out. And I'm like, I have not read any of these. So, and now, granted, I grew up in Japan. I did live in Japan for a while. I read manga all the time. I loved it. I still watch anime stuff now. I like that. I like it. So when I was like, okay, so this will probably be down my alley, you know? And so I picked up
Now I have
Usagi Yojimbo.
a
116.
question.
What's
Is
the
it
question?
read from right to left?
It's read the normal American way.
Okay.
But I didn't get it. All right, first of all, it's all black and white, which normally is okay as long as the art style is in a way that makes it dynamic.
Yeah, shadows and
Right. So
volume.
you have shadow, you have movement, you can feel the movement. You don't necessarily need colors to
It kind of looks
but-
like a newspaper cartoon.
This looks like somebody took newspaper printings and put it into a book.
I mean, based on the cover, the cover looks pretty nice.
The cover looks great.
If
But
the entire book was like that, that'd be great.
I mean,
I don't know. Maybe we're just picky.
and there was barely any. I mean, there's a little fight here, but it looks so childish and
It
silly.
looks like a mad comic.
And it didn't make any sense. I'll kill you. Did you hear that? Oh, yeah. Oh, ah, dot, dot, dot. I mean, that's. Well, go. All right.
Anime sound effects are the best.
And then I'll kill you for that. Grr. Sigh. A fight would be fruitless. And then he names the girl's baby, or she's pregnant, or has a baby, and then she didn't know. And can you read the name? Okay, if I pronounce that American style, I would be cussing at you.
Fukio.
No, it's elongated because you have a vowel at the end.
Yeah, but that's
And that's supposed to be Fukio, but that's not how Americans would pronounce that.
Oh goodness.
I'm like,
That's a fun name.
All right, so I didn't get it. I don't get the hype. Granted, I've only read one.
You do have a man in a costume, so
The cover looks great. The cover, I was like, okay, that looks cool. I didn't get the comic inside. I don't understand it. I didn't get it. I don't like it. And now, granted, I may give it another shot because I don't like to judge a book just by a series just by one book.
by its cover. Oh, my
But
goodness.
if this is the way it is,
yeah, you got to give it 1 or 2, 3.
So the old fogey says, "Yeah, probably not. I may read another one just to be, do my due diligence. But overall, all right, young whippersnapper, what you got?
I got Spider-Man number 15.
All right, Spider-Man number 15. So we got Spider-Man and Beast.
Yeah, it starts off pretty interesting. Spider-Man's talking to Mary Jane. And he's like, they're talking about having kids, which is...
All right, so Eric Larson was the guest writer and the artist on this. Now, look at that.
Which, honestly, beautiful opening page.
I believe Eric Larson went to Image, and I believe he also does Savage Dragon. See, he does a great Mary Jane and a great Peter. Look at that. Though he kind of looks like almost like a flat top there.
it's mask head. It's mask hair.
Mask hair. He needs to carry a brush with him. All right, so keep going. What happened?
So they're debating, and they're like, "What about the mutant factor? I'm Spider-Man. This really could go wrong."
Because Spider-Man is technically a mutation, but not a mutant.
So
right, so he doesn't have the X gene.
Yeah, he doesn't have the X gene,
but he's been mutated from normal human to some stuff superhuman.
So he goes and he sees an article in the newspaper that Beast is doing a talk about mutants in New York. So he's like, you know what? I'll go check that out. Go talk to Beast. So he goes, and there are obviously some rioters who are trying to kill Beast. One of them is a mutant, which is insane, and the other is an old dude in an exosuit who hates mutants, and they're working together.
So a mutant and a guy that hates mutants are working together to destroy a mutant.
The guy who hates mutants, ironically, wants to make sure the mutants can't take over the world, and the mutant that's working with him wants to kill all of the mutants to take over the world. No, kill other humans to take over the world.
And yes, Grayman, you are right. I believe that is exactly what this story is about. Spider-Man specifically went to talk to Beast to figure out if they could have babies.
And Beast is like, you know what? I'm not going to lie. There's a 5% chance that your kid is going to turn out normal.
Just for Grayman.
And he's like,
a 5% chance he turn out normal?
Yeah.
So there's a 95% chance he won't.
There's a 95% chance that there will be problems or in the birth.
Or some sort of mutation.
It will be mutant. It will be born with a defect. It will kill Mary Jane in the process.
Can you imagine him having a baby that's like a spider?
Oh, and it hatches and multiple little ones come out.
You missed it, Grayman? All right. Again,
Ooh.
Just for Grayman.
Mary Jane's crying.
She's crying. Yeah, kid will fire out like web shooter, or she hatches an egg.
Ugh.
And then like a bunch of little baby Peters run out.
Ooh.
All right, so overall,
pretty good. They also had another fight with this thing in the sewers. The
clay monster thing.
It is huge. It knocked Beast out twice.
Yikes.
And almost drowned Spider-Man. And then 2 adults come in the sewers looking for him, and it runs towards them and transforms back into a toddler.
Oh. So they're beating up a kid.
They were being beaten up by a kid. That child sustained no injuries from that.
Wow. All right, so recommend, not recommend? What do you think?
Recommend. It's cool. The art was very nice. It was very throwbackish for me. Probably nostalgic for you.
Well, yeah, Eric Larson has a style. It's okay. I mean, it's decent. It's not my favorite.
But it's no bunny.
No. All right, so my next one was something called Years of Future Past #1. I think Peter is mostly human, so the baby would even be more diluted. Might not have so much powers, I think. I don't know. That would be a good question. Of course, he had a kid, Spinneret, and she has web powers, so it may actually. So Years of Future Past #1. This was written by somebody named Margaretti Bennett, and Mike Norton was the artist.
That's interesting.
What's that?
If it's like a Wolverine web shooter where it just pops out of the skin,
I don't know.
and it uses something of the human body to spit webs.
We'd have to look at what Spinneret can do because that's their kid. And she came around with Renew Your Vows. Amazing Spider-Man Renew Your Vows. I don't know. I don't think it was 616 universe, but Peter Parker and Mary Jane were able to split his powers. So when one was using it, the other couldn't, or they both used it at 50%. And then they had the daughter, Spinneret, who was a Spider-Man version who could do most of the things her dad did. So I don't know exactly how it worked. I never really read the series. So this book, we are in another dystopian future, kind of in the future's days past storyline, where there's this young girl. She's wearing the mutant uniform with the M, just like the Nazis did. Made everybody wear an M, right? So she's a mutant, and she's out patrolling, and she meets Logan, and they're talking about Logan's kid, which apparently she kind of has a crush on. And then Sentinels. Now, from what we understand, they put all the mutants into concentration camps, and they have sterilized them. So this young girl is the daughter of Kitty Pryde, and her name is Catherine Pryde, or Chrissy Pryde. Logan has a nickname for her. And she's a mutant, but they're all under repression collars. She was technically the last mutant born. So she's the youngest mutant. Everybody else has been sterilized. The only other ones that haven't been sterilized is Logan's son and Chrissy Pryde. So now her mom is Kitty Pryde. Kitty Pryde is married to Colossus, Peter Rasputin. And they live with Rachel and Magneto. So her job was to go out and grab certain chemicals, which she's been looking for over the course of years. And they were able to get the collars off, right? And as soon as the collars off, they had to go fight through the Sentinel thing. And her powers finally manifested.
Ooh.
Her powers finally manifested. And her power is basically if Colossus had a baby with Mr. Fantastic.
That's great.
That's her power. So she turns into this stretchy metal thing. And she can elongate. Let me see, there was a nice picture in here where she wrapped around everybody and protected them from an explosion. Maybe, here it is. See, look at that. She wrapped around them and protected them from an explosion. All right. And then Logan and his son show up. Well, they release Blob onto them, and Blob's like, "You guys did this to me." And so Logan's son appears, and Wolverine, and he has the power to merge into any object and exit the object from another direction. So he can merge into any object and come out of any object. So basically,
Blob's really good for him.
He has another version of his mom's powers, in a sense, right? Where she can phase through things, where he doesn't really phase through them. He merges with it and then explodes out of it if he wants to, which he technically did out of Blob, killing Blob and covered in green goo. I don't know why Blob has green blood. He is a mutant, but he's not like green blood. Hey, Spear, how you doing, man? And so everything kind of goes crazy. And the Super Sentinels are on their way to get them.
Oh, Super Sentinels.
So far, another dystopian future where mutants have to live in concentration camps, like there's a bunch of Nazis, and they get marked and they get sterilized and euthanized and all that fun stuff. I don't know why it always tends to that. Why can't we ever have a future book where everything is like hunky-dory?
Because that doesn't make for a good story.
It could. All of them living in the fields of Elysium. I would love to finally see this.
But there's no trial. There's no error.
There could be.
You planted the wheat farm in the wrong place. How dare you?
Everybody's loving everybody. Everybody's having a great time, eating meals and going out of Elysium to battle dragons and come back. That'd be great. All right. So overall, it's okay. I mean, it's pretty good. I mean, it's not horrible, but it's kind of one of those like, okay, that it seems kind of predictable at this point. I've read it. I've read it before. You know, we've done this before. Dystopian future, mutant kind living in concentration camps. All that's it's been done before. Dystopian futures are more interesting because they you see them as having trials and struggles, but you could have that same thing in a utopian one.
I mean, utopian
What
means
kind of butter do you use on your toast when you have thousands of choices? Do you kill the pig to eat the bacon? In a utopian society, it may be frowned upon to kill things, but you really want bacon because you should be allowed to have bacon in heaven. That's a struggle, man. That is a struggle.
Ooh, okay, no. A struggle is finding food, not which food should I eat.
They're both struggles. I struggle with both of those every day. I found it. Now, which one should I do? All right, guys. All right. So,
Goodness.
all right, young whippersnapper, what do you got for us next?
X-Men Unlimited, number 15.
X-Men Unlimited number 15, Wolverine versus Maverick.
Oh, so it's a story about a mutant named Chris who just got his powers, and he's freaking out.
All right, so we have the writer. Who wrote this? Duncan Rollet
And Howard Mackey.
and Howard Mackey did the. That's a great looking Iceman. Look at that.
Yeah, this Iceman is kind of dope.
That's a great looking Iceman. All right, fine.
So his parents are like really supportive, and they let him go to Xavier's school, where Iceman mainly teaches him and helps him learn how to control his powers.
What is his power?
Electricity.
Okay.
But then the X-Men got this real big thing. And what is the X-Men disease?
Legacy virus.
Legacy virus. The Chris gets the legacy virus, and
Oh, crap.
yeah, he's feeling all alone. So
Look at that down there where he just kind of zap. That
yeah,
was great.
no. He was being bullied, and someone finally burned down his house.
Okay.
Yeah, so he went for a walk because he was
Chris?
really mad. Chris went for a walk, yeah. And Chris' mom calls Iceman. He's like, I can't find Chris anywhere. I need you to find him. So Iceman comes, looks for Chris, finds Chris. Iceman's like, dude, you got to come back with me. Your mom's worried. Chris is like, just leave me alone. Just leave me alone.
The Maverick shows up.
And Maverick shows up. Chris and Maverick have a little bit of backstory. When Chris was on his way to the hospital, there was a bunch of rioters because they hate X-Men. So Chris and his family decided to take a back alley. But guess what? There's extremists in the back alley trying to blow up the hospital, trying to help the X-Men.
Help the X-Men or hurt the X-Men?
The hospital is trying to help cure the legacy virus.
All right, so the extremists want to blow up the hospital to
Yes.
stop it from helping the X-Men.
Yes,
Gotcha.
the mutants.
And look at I love when Wolverine had this red
Oh yeah,
mask.
that's a beautiful, and those
Look at that.
bony claws.
Look at that. That is fantastic. That's a great drawing. Now, even the foreshortening, it's a little off on the elbow over here, right there. But that looks really good.
It's still cool.
Yeah.
So Chris and Maverick kill the extremists, or not kill, but incapacitate and destroy their plans.
And what's up with that face? Oh.
Maverick just told him we're not friends.
We're not friends. What do you mean, Jan Wolverine? You're not good with Wolverine there, Gray Man? Not a Wolverine fan?
So the story comes down to Chris wants to be alone, and Maverick wants to stop Iceman from trying to help Chris because Maverick also has the legacy disease,
Right.
and Chris really resonates with Maverick in a way. And Chris thinks they're friends because Maverick is the only one around him who knows what he's going through with the legacy virus and all of that. But Maverick's like, we're not friends, dude. You're a teenager and I'm an adult. This is weird. So eventually Wolverine is like, Iceman, you gotta just let him go. Maverick on this one because Wolverine and Maverick were in German territory on X-Ops missions, and Maverick killed his own brother rather than turning over Wolverine and Sabretooth. So it was just a nice, wholesome story.
So it's in these X-Men Unlimited were one shots where they took in a lot of the newer writers and newer artists and gave them a chance to come up with a good story,
which is a great idea, and we shouldn't be giving everyone number ones.
Yes, it's a good idea, and it has a chance for them to show off what they can do. And they usually give them a longer story, so because you don't have multiple issues, just get it all out at once. So Wolverine caused you to quit the '90s Marvel comics. Yeah, I can see that. Bone Claw Wolverine, Feral Wolverine was kind of weird. I really did like Old Man Wolverine. I did kind of like the old soldier that was kind of helping the young kid. That was pretty cool. But yeah,
always wearing a bomber jacket.
Overall, I liked a lot of the X-Men Unlimited, but some of them were hit and miss because they were new.
They were trials.
Right? So what do you think?
With the ending of the story, Chris ends in by Maverick relocating him and his family to a safe house of sorts, and Iceman reunites with his dad because they had issues. Wolverine, normally a loner, is finding comfort in the X-Men, and Maverick. Sometimes there are no happy endings.
Oh, Maverick got screwed.
Well, dude's gonna die, and he knows it, and it sucks.
Yeah, no word. All right, so recommend.
Yeah, I like this. I like what Wolverine said here. Tried your best, Bobby, but this is the right thing. I don't know if I could do the same for him. So Maverick's just trying to help Chris out.
So Maverick's probably the best option for Chris.
Yeah.
And they kind of walk off into the sunset.
Maverick dies alone in a hotel room. So yeah, I do recommend it.
Yeah, and that's right, Gray Man. There was definitely an oversaturation of Wolverine. He seemed to be on every team, everywhere, with two or three of his own series. I never understood growing up how in the world
dude was
Wolverine
the Captain America of X-Men.
Could be on every team all at the same time. And it's like, wait a minute, how could he be with Alpha Flight when he was with the Avengers, but he's part of the Fantastic Four, was still with the X-Men, but he was on 4 different X-Men teams, but at the same time hiding out in the wilderness. I never got it. Never made any sense to me.
Oh, it's great.
All right, so my next book was Years of Future Past #2. Again, this is by Bennett. Art by Mike Norton.
Mike Norton.
The art was okay. And again, we go on with the same story here. He started to become really overpowered. That is true. So we got Mystique and aggressively relaxing. How you doing, man?
What's up, man?
Yeah, Wolverine says he's a loner, but he here we go. Wolverine says he's a loner, but he does really well in groups. Now, Banshee, that's the character who's popular. Lynn's I agree with that. Banshee was more of a loner. He's kind of hung out with Moira McTaggart a lot. And that was cool because it was kind of a especially when he found out he was a dad, and it started having issues with Moira. It was interesting. Wolverine was kind of gotten overpowered where nothing could kill him. And then there was the time where
that healing factor.
He took on the whole Marvel universe because Hydra took over or something like that.
He kind of was mind controlled there, but
some crazy stuff going on. So Mystique and Blob come. Blob gets killed.
Again?
No, the first time. That's the last issue. So now we have everybody here, and then we got a bunch of fighting. They're still trying to get out and get away from the camp they were in. Loaner, unless they're giving out loans, which in case, where do I apply? If you try the Florida's unemployment website, I'm sure you'll get through sometime in 2021.
2023.
Because right now it's still under maintenance.
Oh my goodness.
Because Florida man is coding it. And apparently they were using Storm to power everything. And so Rachel was able to get in there and release Storm. Shocking. All right. I removed my dad joke button. Dad joke. All right.
Yeah, Spider-Man was fighting with Beast, and dude did so many dad jokes.
All right, so we have them. They kind of escaped. They're in a boat. They're kind of going through the sewer. They're going to the mutant utopia, right? Where all the escaped mutants are living. But so Wolverine's kid is now having a heart-to-heart with Kitty Pryde's kid. He goes, he's my uncle. He's taught me languages and science, and that's all I've ever known him as, Cameron. Yeah, I'm starting to get that. Listen, your mom, she's a good person, but about this, she's wrong. We're the youngest. We're the last mutants who were ever born. There isn't going to be another generation, not for us. We've all we've got. Now, listen, Kitty has already told them to. You two, no. But he's like, hey, if it's not for you and me, and no more mutant babies, let's go ahead and make this happen. I can't blame the kid, right?
It's a civil duty.
You have to, right? And then we end up in Mutant Utopia, right? And then they're, say, hey, welcome, and they're kissing dogs, talking to everybody. Then we get this long thing about how we have yes, this page right here. I had to read it multiple times because I got freaking bored before the end of the dialogue.
It's just,
why
is there nothing in the background?
I don't understand, because I can sit and read novels like crazy. In this last week, I've read 5 different novels over 3. I have 1,500 pages of books. I just blow through books, read. But this, I'm like, no. It's got to be important because they put it in here, and it's so freaking boring. It's about adapting, and he's talking to the kids, right? There's both kids there. So I'm pretty sure this was about, hey, we've got to adapt and make do with what we have, but please don't kiss the boy. And that's a dad, right? Dad's going, hey, don't make out with him. Honestly, I understand that because I have a daughter and I have a son. I'm like, hey, I get it. Okay. And then the bad guys attack, and the robot is there saying,
Ooh.
kill, because they were using so all the Doom Sentinels show up.
Yay.
And all right, so that's when Kitty Pryde's like, hey, I've got to go get that secret special security guard that we have. And I'm going to take the kids with me. And look at, they have a sign that says the little guard. The little guard. Keep out the little guard. And so she runs them through, and there is Lockheed. That was fantastic. That was probably the best freaking part of this whole book, was the Lockheed reveal. So now again, this is reading like the Matrix, right? There's nothing here that's any new. And actually, it kind of got, there was a good fight scene, but then it kind of got boring with mom and dad like, hey, mutant responsibility, it's your responsibility, but not with him.
Who else?
There's no more mutants. Nobody else can have mutant babies because we're all been sterilized, but not him.
Wait, isn't all the other guys married?
Yeah, but not him. All right, so far it's okay, right? Yes. Honestly, Gray Man, he is definitely grown. He is the size of a traditional English dragon.
Ooh.
And you can actually see him on the cover of the next book. That is a sentinel he's fighting. But we'll get into that in a minute. All right, so definitely it's so far still a recommend. It's okay. Nothing wrong with it. It's just not like
it's just lulled a little
it's
bit
just
in the middle.
It's a good read, read through. It's okay. He apparently find out he got mutated a little bit and he grew really fast. And he's blind now or something like that. So, yeah. But we'll figure that out in the next book. So far, okay. Now, young whippersnapper. All right. So it must be super stressful to have Xavier show up to your house with Colossus and explain your daughter should have come to live at their school. And that was right after Emma Frost showed up at the house. Oh, and he also did show up with Wolverine, by the way, and Storm, and said, can we take your daughter out to an ice cream parlor where she got kidnapped?
Oh, yay.
Yeah. And then, there's a lot of weird stuff that went on with poor Kitty. All right. So next, What was yours next one?
Avengers 371.
Avengers 371.
Yeah.
This is a great Avengers team. We got Crystal,
Yeah.
Celeste, Hercules, Captain America. and
Hercules.
I don't remember who she is. I don't remember her name. Do you guys remember her name? What is her name?
So,
All right,
this
so we
book-
have Glenn Hardling as the writer and Mike Gustovich.
Yeah.
Ralph Macchio as the editor. Yeah, that was a good time.
This book is mostly fighting because everyone in the ring has a giant thing on their head that mind controls them to fight.
So we got Black Knight and Hank Pym there. Yeah,
Cersei?
Cersei is this one is Cersei. This girl down here is Cersei, isn't it? So who's this girl up here? And yeah, I mean, Herc's original costume was more Olympian and traditional Greek mythology. But I was okay with this one. I was okay with this costume. It was kind of weird, but I keep going, bud.
Yeah, but so it turns out that a bunch of people have been mind controlled to fight in this gladiator Olympic arena for the enjoyment of other people, and they vote whether or not to keep them alive. So the this warlord here has commissioned someone to capture the Avengers, and they did. So now
371, Gray Man.
So now they're going to take the Avengers. The warlord's trying to take the Avengers and put them in his own mind.
So he's got them in this pentagramish thing there where he's trying to empower his own brain.
Now, that's only supposed to work with one person. You should only be able to suck one person in your mind at a time. But he's going to try to fit 5. Genius, right?
Sounds like an overreach.
Very much so. So now that main leader woman.
When was this book? 1993. Look at Tupac. His name is Tupac.
That's great. Now, the main leader woman, I mean, I'm pretty sure she planned for it because she had someone make a sword that would destroy the mind-absorbing properties.
I think her name is Varia, the spiritual leader of the young gods.
That makes sense.
All right, go ahead. Sorry.
So he sucks them all in because that's what a big bad guy does.
Into his yellow
Giant brain
thing. Look at that.
He it's to get the abilities of the Avengers because he wants to be super powerful and all that. But they planned for it.
Can you imagine wearing that helmet?
It's great.
That's great.
It's great. The plan for it. So the main lady had someone make a sword that would disable that, and that person showed up at just the right time.
Black Knight. Dane shows up
Dane,
and he cuts the Unimind with the special sword.
Oh, and in the next thing is kind of disturbing.
And then
Everyone
Cersei
crawls out.
rips her hand through and they start crawling out.
They all start crawling out. It's and they're all covered in this juice. Captain America goes and picks up his shield, which was stolen, by the way. And he's like, "Okay, guys, it's time to go home."
Yeah, it looks like all the young gods leave and all the Avengers leave,
Yeah.
and everything is done.
So a very simple. What is up with that page? So a very,
Seems
very
like a misprint.
maybe a very simple Avengers story.
Yeah, it's a go in, smash things up. There's some intrigue. There's some danger. There's some other stuff. So, what do you think? Recommend?
I mean, it was okay. I'd buy other books first, but it was okay.
All right. So, not a highly recommend, but yeah, it was good.
Solid story.
A solid story. All right. So,
It had some good action in it. Good fighting.
Now we've come to not the penultimate book,
Penultimate.
which means the book before the last book in a series. I don't know if it's the last, but I don't know. Sorry, I needed a little
Pre-finale.
All right, so I don't know if it's the second to the last. I don't remember how many issues in this. But Years of Future Past and number 3. Again, that's Lockheed now fighting
That's a huge
a
Lockheed.
Sentinel. Lockheed is gigantic now.
Ginormous.
Lockheed is grown, honey. Cam and Chrissy, it's okay. He won't hurt you.
My
Right.
goodness.
The Sentinels have found Centrum. Lockheed, the last mutant refuge, is under attack. It says, when we were captured by the military, I sent Lockheed away with Angel. President Kelly's Sentinels briefly used radiation-based weaponry to mutate him, made him huge and half-blind. He sees better in the dark and now defends. He's our little security system. And so he busts out and he starts kicking butt. Lockheed is like taking everything out. All right, so Grayman says he's on the Marvel Wiki, and I still can't work out who that woman is. I think she's a Virua of the Young Gods. Is who I think she is. From what I was reading.
I'll double check.
He's going to try to find out too. And then Lockheed gets shot by laser beams, and he starts crashing down. And this is important. Kitty Pryde runs and grabs Cameron, the guy who's trying to hook up with Kitty's daughter, and yells, "Not my son." Do you get it?
No.
Not my son.
It's not her son.
What? All right, so the guy who's trying to get in Kitty's daughter's pants is actually her brother, which is why mom and dad have been saying no, because they're brother and sister. So definitely Luke and Leia vibe here.
Virua is actually the alien dude.
No, it says of the new gods.
Yeah. Virua is trying to perform the ritual to get them all in.
All right, hold on a second. We now have to do.
Leader of the Young Gods initiates the most powerful Unimind ever created.
Yeah, that's what the Young Gods power. Marvel Young Gods.
This is. We're gonna figure this out, people.
Yeah, there she is, right there. That's her. Young Gods. Members. Cadius, Calculus, Daydreamer, Genie, Virua, former members. Yeah, that's her. All right.
Fine, I was wrong. It
Hold
is
on a second.
Virua.
I am going to share this. Chrome tab. Share. All right, so you can see here. This is Veruya. Mira is her, and that's her in the Unimind. Boop, 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 boop. Right up on the head, man.
Okay. Yeah, so
She had possessed great mental powers, giving her the powers of teleportation, telepathy, and flight. Varua can also generate blue flame, which will merge herself and anybody she chooses into a Unimind, which is combined powers of all participants. Nice.
Yeah, so she overdid it.
Yeah, she put 5 people in, all superpowered people.
Yeah.
But yeah, she's Varua of the New Gods. I remember the New Gods. I remember the New Gods.
She is also called Mira.
And she is also called Mira. Yep.
Okay.
All right, so we come to find out that Kitty and Colossus she was pregnant, and she had Cameron, and she handed Cameron with Wolverine, and Wolverine ran off with him, and then they were captured. And they figured they'd never see Cameron again, and they didn't want Cameron to get caught either. Or Young Gods, not New Gods. Sorry, Young Gods. New Gods is the Jack Kirby, Orion, etc. Those guys. The Young Gods, not New Gods. and so they never told him, and they never told her that they were siblings or they had siblings. They never expected them to ever meet. And now they're like, hey, we're the last. He's like, hey, hey, babe, we're like the last two mutants on Earth. If we ever want to have mutant babies, we got to kind of get together. And like Luke and Leia here, man. And then mom and dad's like, no, stop, no. But they can't tell him. And then it comes out anyway. And then they meet up with Kurt.
Why couldn't they tell him?
They'd already lied to him for 18 years, 19 years. I don't know. And then they go into, there's a special place all mutants to go. It's a sanctuary or a church to Doom, because apparently Doom is now the overlord of the whole world.
We all knew it would happen
and
someday.
Kurt Wagner is a priest of Doom. I don't get it. And so they decide the last thing they can do, and then we have the brother and sister reconciling, say, hey, we can still be there for each other, even though we can't, do the nasty. And then they go decide, hey,
Dougie.
we need to relieve this mutant camp. And so they start going out to go do this. I'm going to go save this mutant camp, right? And so she has all these metal things and metal arms, and she's blocking everything. And her brother and her mom come in on the back in Nightcrawler, and they're cutting through the gate, and they're breaking through the fences, and they're getting ready to rescue everybody. And it was all a trap.
Of course it was.
It was all a trap. And look at, you got Pyro and Avalanche, and of course, what's her name? What's that? Oracle?
Maybe.
And that's the last one of the series I had. So, all right. So honestly, okay. But
Kitty and Colossus kids?
yes, they were both Kitty and Colossus's kids. So Cameron was he's older by a year or so.
I thought Cameron was
And that's Destiny. You're right. That is Destiny. Cameron was a little bit older, and he was taken by Logan when they got separated. And so Logan raised him as his own child.
So Logan didn't have a kid.
Logan didn't have a kid. It's not Kitty and Logan's. It's Kitty and Colossus's son. And Logan took the boy and escaped because she just gave birth. And then a few years later, she gave birth to Chrissy in the concentration camp. So at first, I thought the same thing, Gray Man. I thought, Kitty, you naughty girl. You and Logan? But no. It was not her and Logan. I did think that at first too, but it's actually Colossus's kid. Logan raised them because they got separated, and then they spent many years just saying, "Hey, we don't know who that's Logan's son," instead of actually saying, "Yeah, that's your brother." Logan does. He liked Jean Grey. He was hanging out with Kitty. He hung out with Jubilee. All right, so you had your next book.
Yeah, Avengers Affinity.
Avengers versus Infinity #1.
Yeah, I mean, I recognize the writer.
Joe Caramagna.
No, it was Lopez, the colorist. I've heard of Lopez before.
The colors, Carlos Lopez. Yeah, and penciler Willington. All right, so there's 2, 3, 4 stories in here. Anger Mismanagement by Joe Caramagna and Willington Alves. Then Doom Everlasting by Joe Caramagna and Ron Lim. Then Bossman Smash by Joe and Ron Lim. And then Might of the Living Dead by Joe and Ron Lim. Yes, so far, Gray Man, it is pretty much a pretty dumb plot that we've seen a million times. It's basically Luke and Leia. I mean, done in a dystopian future. It's, I don't know.
Aggressively, yeah, man.
Aggressively. Wait, who is this? Yes. I mean, we're reading old comics, right? And we're like, oh, wait a minute, who was this? And we got to go look it up because we cannot just let it lie. I can't just go, okay, I know, I got to go look.
Have y'all ever heard of a character named Codpiece?
Yes. We were thinking about doing a shop talk on all these unknown weird characters like Codpiece, or was it Winter Flame or something? They got powers from cocaine. It's some great stuff.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, we definitely need to know. And no reason to lie to kids even. And agreed. But I mean, again, I understand their point. If you tell your daughter you have a brother outside the camp, what's she going to try to do? She's going to try to go meet him and his death to go outside the camp. unless they get
Mhm.
permission.
Mhm.
So she's going to get herself in trouble. Where if you just go, hey, it's just a guy, it's Logan's son out there, she's not going to be so much like, I got to go see my brother. And I mean, I can understand the reasoning. And I can't say I wouldn't do the same thing in that situation.
I mean, it depends. It's either brother or mysterious bad boy.
But yeah, it's mysterious bad boy. But at some point, she's, they're working toward a goal to get out. But now you got a problem like, hey, you can't date your sister. Hey, don't kiss your brother. I know you've dreamt about him for 5 years since you were 13, thinking one day you'd marry this dude. But no, he's your brother. Can't do that. Hey, Gray Man, I don't know how many kids you have, but most of them are.
Oh, yeah, it's true.
Most of them are. I've got several right here.
I mean, do you have siblings?
Now, honestly, I wouldn't care if my sibling was like, yeah, whatever. I can't even put it on the screen. But yeah, I mean, but did mom even know that's what she was doing? Maybe mom might have been a little bit more perceptive of what's going on. But hey, you would think so. And honestly, in the book, she was more like, I didn't really think of you that way. I really more thought of you as a good friend, but he did seem to be thinking of her that way. So
I mean, he's a teenage guy.
It was
it's the only other.
It's one of those plots that you're like, this is stupid.
Yeah, it's a Star Wars ripoff.
It's like you put the kids in an impossible position, and then you're like, oh, well, he's your brother. Like, no, dude, that was gross.
Okay. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
So this was an interesting series of.
It's like 4 different stories in one. All right, what do you think overall?
Pretty good. Art wasn't bad. Story wasn't bad. Dialogue. Well, I kind of feel bad for
This
this
dude looks like he vomited all over himself after he put on big glowing gloves.
Just feel bad for him. Eventually, he feels like the whole world is out to get him. Now Loki is trying his darndest to recruit all of the bad guys he can. So he gets what is it? Breaker. What's his face?
I don't know.
Him.
Oh yeah,
Wrecker.
Wrecking Crew.
He brings Wrecking Crew some gifts, a giant smashing gloves from Asgard.
And he just threw them away.
And Wrecker's like, I'm good.
I don't need these.
So this dude, feeling really under appreciated,
So
finds them.
So Office Space or Postal or all those stores where he goes nuts and he starts breaking everything, busting everything. Oh, nice punch to.
Now, Wrecker Crew, dude's like, oh, these gloves are dope. I'm gonna take them back.
Come and get them.
So after the Avengers come, like, dude, you got to stop. We understand you're underappreciated, but you can't treat everyone like this.
Yeah, bus drivers are cool too.
So Wrecking Crew comes, knocks Hawkeye out, and dude's like, you know what? You can't do that because I learned the error of my ways. So I'm gonna punch you because I'm a hero.
I'm a hero.
And he's like, if I want to be a hero, I have to take responsibility for my actions. So he,
you're already a hero to me. You saved my life, Donald. No, Hawkeye, you saved mine.
Yeah. Some cheesy stuff, but
all right. Then we get Doom fighting vampires.
Yeah, those are actually Doombots. Doom's that.
Doombot's fighting vampires, and Doom, of course, is sitting on his throne petting a
tiger.
Okay,
so Loki.
That's who I envisioned Doom.
Loki went and recruited Dracula. He tried to recruit Doom, but Doom was like, nah, dude, I'm going to take over the world by myself.
That's because he's already recruited Doom once in Acts of Vengeance.
So,
I hear the Lord song going through my head right now.
Tiger Doom.
Ba-da-bum-bum-bum-bum-bum-bum-bum.
Anyway, Dracula accepts
We don't
Loki's
care.
offer and is starting to attack Doom's Island, Lavardia.
Latvaria is his country.
Yeah, and Doom knows the the geographic politics of his island. How if Vlad got Doom's Island, then he would be able to take over Europe really quickly.
And look at he knocks out a Black Widow. Dracula does.
Yeah, because Dracula had a mind leak on Black Widow before.
A mind lick?
Mind link.
Oh, I thought you said a mind lick, like
No.
lick. Like.
No.
That'd be that. Ooh, Dracula licked Black Widow.
So the only reason the Avengers are helping Doom right now is because Doom is a nation and they kind of have to.
Puny dictator. All right, so Hulk punches Doom
Doom's
into a
like,
wall.
I know you're not gonna hurt me because that would be an act of terrorism. And Hulk's like, yo, whatever.
Boss Man smashed. So now we have the Avengers on a beach, and we have
Oh.
Hulk wearing
This was great.
flip flops.
Tony's at the door. He's standing next to Black Widow. He's like, oh, this is my wife, Jay-Z. I'm Beyonce.
Does
No,
Black
this
Widow
is my wife, Beyonce. I'm Jay-Z.
Does Black Widow really wear that to the beach?
I wouldn't be surprised.
I would.
You know what? Yeah, Tony's a lot better at undercover stuff. So they pretend to be Jay-Z and Beyonce. And that's great. Hawkeye's poolside tender.
So this is cool, where Hulk punches Iron Man and he flies through all those floors.
Yeah, that was a beautiful page.
That's a pretty cool page. I like that.
Now, Hulk's got something under his hat. It's a mind-controlling device.
Ah,
Yeah, the Brother Brood,
Brutes, yeah.
they're mind-controlling Hulk. And
Okay, makes sense.
so Iron Man gets the mind control thing off after Black Widow
And
gets
Hulk
handed
takes their
to her.
heads and go,
Yeah, after punching Iron Man another time, just for fun.
nice. And then we have Might of the Living Dead. So we have Hulk.
I mean, before this, there was a beautiful moment between Tony Stark and Hulk. Yeah, we got Vampire Black Widow.
All right, so a beautiful thing between.
Hulk and Tony. Hulk's like, "Why'd you guys come back for me?" I mean, it was at the end. He's like, I know what they say. I'm a monster, and I really should just stay here where people just call me Boss Man, where I'm a normal.
Yeah, so,
thing.
but maybe I don't have to be. These people here, they only know me as Boss Man. They actually like me. This island could be my chance to start over. I can clean it up, make it legit, finally make a place to call home. And Tony responds, first of all, that's the most unmonstery thing anyone has ever said. But you're not the Boss Man. You're the Hulk. No matter how far you run, your true self will always catch up with you. You might as well embrace it. We want to know why you came back for you, because we never leave one of our own behind. You're an Avenger. That's your home. Now get on the jet. And if you ever run away again, I'll drag you back by your feet.
Like you
Like you could.
So
That's
yeah,
cool. Yeah, that's pretty good. All right, so we have Black Widow turned into a vampire.
kind of.
Well, she looks kind of vampirish. Or maybe it's a zombie. I don't know.
Black Widow
And then they go to the dream dimension.
was stuck in the dream dimension.
Yep, and he goes, and then they're ballerina vampires along with.
Yeah, no, they're ballerinas to
Trolls.
Black Widow, but to Thor, they're trolls.
Cool.
So just kind of nightmarish stuff.
And then Odin shows up and lets.
You failed me for the last time.
And then,
Thor.
then Dracula. And then Black Widow says,
Mjolnir
to me! And it flies to her.
Yeah, she's like, wait, this is the dream realm where literally anything could happen.
And she grabs it and she knocks out Dracula.
So yeah, it's kind of cool. We see
And then she gets home. And
she does what everyone tries to do after their dream.
she can rock it a little bit.
I wouldn't say rocket. It didn't move at all.
Look at it.
That's Thor's hand on it.
Oh, it's Thor's helping her. Okay.
Yeah. He's like, you know what? It doesn't matter to me what you did in your past life. Mjolnir thinks otherwise, but it doesn't matter to me what happened in your past life. You're worthy to me.
You're worthy to me. All right, guys. Well, that's basically it for today of our quick fire comic reviews of old
Quick.
comics. We have good, recommend. I didn't get it. Basically retelling of Star Wars from mutants that are done in a Nazi future. And then the same thing again.
Part 5.
And then
Part 6.
Lockheed becomes a real big dragon. I like that. That's best part.
And
All
then
right.
part 3.
And that's it. All right. So that was mine. So 1 recommend, 3 okay, and 1 like I don't get it.
Recommend. Pretty good. Recommend. Another pretty good recommend. It was okay. I mean, there is some action. And not bad for the price. Yeah, this was only $6 and you got 4 stories out of it.
Not bad.
It's not bad.
All right, guys. So that was it for this week's new to you comic quickfire review
Yeah.
of old comics. And remember, be around for tomorrow at 5:30, where we're going to be doing Covers Against Humanity again, a new game or a game of the old game, but done again.
Cover judgers.
Cover Judgers, or whatever we call it. I don't know, because all 3 of us seem to have a different name for
Jay's
it.
gonna hate that.
But thanks everybody for coming. Aggressively Relaxing, The Gray Man, Superior Comic Review,
Yeah, man. Yeah, I think we had fun.
Captain Comics. We appreciate everybody that showed up and joined us for our reviews of old comics that you've probably already read. But at least we got to review it again. So thanks, guys, for showing up. Have a good weekend and a good quarantine day.
Yeah, that's gonna be fun.
Get your hand sanitizer. Keep your mask ready. And we'll see you tomorrow here in the long box.
Oh, I love eating that.